Well, hello, Jordan, and welcome to Humans of Data Science. This is my first Humans of Data Science interview where you're actually here with me. So it's a lot more exciting and it's
Absolutely.
more real.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Thank
And
you.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, Jordan Morrow. I'm a data literacy junkie. So I'm the global head of data literacy at Click, the software digital company. And I've been there for about 2.5 years on this journey with data literacy. And a little more about me personally. I'm married with 5 kids, which usually shocks people. Yeah, see, there we go. 5 children. But data and math are my passion. I love it. And anytime I can talk about it is okay by me.
Great. Well, I do want to start with asking, why do you have this passion for data literacy?
So my passion for data literacy actually started a few years ago. I worked for American Express here in New York City, where we are, and worked out of Utah, though. And my job was heading up a BI world. We actually used one of Click's main competitors, who you are very familiar with, Tableau. And we were building a lot of dashboards, building a lot of things. And I thought, in order for dashboards to be used effectively, we should be teaching people how to do better analytics, doing better statistics, doing things like that. And I actually got told no. I was told that we would rather have you just do training on the tool, how do they use it, and then maybe one day you can explore that. And at that time, I just started to grow. I've always been a lover of math and teaching. I actually went to university for a while to be a teacher in math. And decided, a big family and stuff, you kind of have to have maybe more than a teaching degree and things. Unfortunately. And so the opportunity came up to work full-time just teaching people how to do analytics, and that's what I do. It's grown into what we have now in data literacy, but when I was originally hired with Click, it was to build analytical learning, and I just love it. I love teaching people how to do analytics better.
Great, and I think that really comes through. And I did have a question about American Express and what's their level of data literacy. It sounds like they're not there yet.
Yeah, as an organizational whole, I would say no, but there are certain parts, and there are articles. You could go to Forbes. I mean, there are articles about how strong the analytics is at American Express, and I would agree with that. American Express, in certain areas, their analytics, to me, I have not found many companies that can match it. Now, but that's certain areas. As a whole, the data literacy side, the groups that I worked with, they were not very data literate in some cases, and so getting messages across or how to use analytics to drive marketing better or things like that might not have been the most successful, but certain areas of the company, they're rock stars. I mean, their analytics is pretty unmatched.
Great. So another thing I found this morning was your data literacy index, and there was an assessment you could take. I actually just took the test this morning with Data Aristocrat.
Absolutely.
Everyone. Is that the highest level?
That is the highest level.
Okay, great. It would have been embarrassing if it's not.
I would not expect less from you.
Thank you. So tell us more about the Data Literacy Index and what is its goal?
Yeah, so the index you're talking about comes from the website, the Data Literacy Project, which is an independent community that Click commissioned, but is truly independent. So we're partnering with companies like Accenture. I had a request from out of South America for Deloitte out of Brazil to be a part of it. Okay. A little shout out for your company here. But some bigger companies in the world partnered with us to create an independent community that has an advisory board of me and a few other members who will drive kind of the messaging and education and the materials around what data literacy is. Now, the index you're talking about, one of the key things that we've done with data literacy is we've assessed the world. We did a survey at the end of last year that had over 11,000 participants to try and understand the state of data literacy everywhere. And then this year, we wanted to understand what kind of tangible benefit data literacy actually has. And that's the index. So we commissioned a really big statistical study on data literacy and companies, if they are more data literate, what benefit does it bring? And that's that index. And thankfully, it came out with positive results for us, because sometimes statistics, don't give us the answer we want. But this one did, and it showed that companies that are more data literate are worth more. They have better return on different sales metrics or things like that, and they're quicker to market. And so that was kind of that linchpin or that key that said data literacy, it's not just a fun thing to have, but if your organization is data literate, you're worth more, you're better, basically, is what it said. Yeah,
and that's what I would expect to see. So I'm glad that came out.
Exactly. It's kind of intuitive, right? It would make sense that if more people are good at making data-driven decisions, the company as a whole is better.
Yeah, so 11,000 participants. Was that a global initiative across different industries?
Yep, across all industries, levels of an organization from the C-suite on down. And that survey assessment that we did at the end of last year kind of proved our theory that most people are not data literate. In fact, decision makers, it was about 1 out of 4 felt confident in their data literacy. Executives was only 1 out of 3. And the entire population was about 20%, or 1 out of 5 felt data literate. So you can see a massive skills gap that exists there.
So to test your data literacy, was it a similar test that I took this morning?
Yeah, so that survey had a lot more questions. The survey that you're talking about, we wanted to give people a quick, easy way to do it, right? Because as you took it, notice there were technical questions in there, but the way I built it, they're not very technical in wording, right? Yeah. You could get very technical with assessments, and some should, right? If you're a data scientist and trying to assess your statistical knowledge, it should be a pretty technical assessment. But since data literacy is for the masses, we created that 10 questions to really just get your comfort with data. And then once you know your comfort and your baseline, then there's training that you can take to get better. Yeah. So that's that one. But the big survey had a lot more questions to it, a lot more stats.
Okay, great. So another question I have for you is, what is your goal for yourself for the next 12 to 18 months? It could be personal or professional.
Well, we'll go professional first and then personal. So I've been on this data literacy journey. Click truly is, and they've given me basically the freedom to do it how I want. They kind of hired me to be an entrepreneur, and it's product agnostic. So we have clients that use Click, Tableau, Power BI that come to us and say, can we use your data literacy? I've had organizations who don't even use Click start in their data literacy journeys. But I've been a one-man show for a very long time. I have a curriculum developer who helps me build education materials, but I'm really looking to scale out the program, build it bigger. So from a professional standpoint, and we have initiatives in place to do that, training a lot of people to be able to deliver the workshops I'm doing. So in the next 12 to 18 months, my focus professionally is to really help individuals be able to share the message like I do. And then personally, we've been talking about running. I ran the Speed Goat 50K in July this year. So for those that don't know Speed Goat, it's ultra marathon in Utah, but one of the hardest in the world. And it's been on my bucket list forever. And I was able to complete it last year, but I really want to beat my time. So this year it's going to be a lot of dedication. I'm already training for it, but it's not even until July. So there's a lot of dedicated focus on how to get my abilities better.
So how long did that take you?
Oh, geez. That one was, so it's 31 miles, it's about 33 almost, I think, with the differences. 11,000 feet of vertical gain throughout the race, 11 to 14, depending on the course.
And it's a trail, right? It's
all trail, yeah. Up through the gorgeous ski resorts in Utah, Snowbird and Alta. And it took me around 10 and a half hours to be in the mountains that day. Plus, it's in the middle of July, so you're exposed, and it was like 90 degrees. So it's so the person who hosts it, his name is Speed Goat Carl, and if you study him, he's one of the most storied ultra runners to ever live. And he really gets joy out of watching you hurt, which is fun, but it's a nice challenge.
Great. Yeah, I'm not signing up for that one yet.
You should.
No, I haven't done much trail running, but it does look like fun instead of just running straight on a concrete or something. Yeah. All right. The last question I have for you today is, if you could be, or if you could choose to have any superhuman power in the world, what would it be?
Oh man, Ken, this is a weird one, but I'm a nerd. I would love to have all knowledge if I could. I think that seems weird because, one, I'm father of 5. I want to be the best dad I can. So if you have all knowledge, hopefully you're able to translate that to your children. I love reading, and I can't get through all the books that I want to get through. So if I could just implant all the knowledge in my brain, that would probably be what I would want.
Well, but if you have all knowledge and you love reading, what would you read now?
Oh, I might not read. I'd train more. We'll go play in the mountains more.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Jordan, for being on Humans of Data Science.
Hey, thank you, and thanks for letting me be the first in person.
Yes.